one future. Perhaps you wondered what those two faces represent. Today we'll be completing that conversation. Now, across Nigeria, climate change is revealing itself in different ways. In the north, we have desertification and prolonged drought, which is shrinking our farmlands, drying up water sources and threatening food production. In the south, flooding and coastal erosion are destroying homes, displacing families, and affecting businesses and livelihoods. These may appear to be different challenges, but they are two faces of the same climate crisis. And despite these different experiences, we all share one future. The important question is, what kind of future are we building? Will we continue on a path of environmental neglect, or will we choose collective action towards a greener, more sustainable tomorrow? Joining me today is Dr. Nancy Tehimba. Dr. Nancy is a Nigerian food scientist and climate activist who directs the Euphrates Climate Foundation. She is holding a PhD in food science and technology. So she blends academic research with grassroots action to advance climate resilient agriculture and food security. Her work focuses on gender-inclusive climate justice, partnering with international bodies like ActionAid to help vulnerable communities build sustainable livelihood. It's good to have you back, Dr. Nancy. I've missed you.
I missed you too, Susan. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining in. And yes, we don't want to waste time this morning because we have a whole lot to dissect. I just wish we had more time, but hey, let's get straight into it. Now, for many people, desertification in northern Nigeria and flooding in southern Nigeria seem like completely different problems. Can you help us understand how they are both connected to climate change?
Okay, thank you for that question. When you talk about flooding in the south and desertification and drought in the north, they are all the effects of climate change. Climate change is the thing that is disrupting the rainfall patterns and causing longer dry periods in the north, while having heavier rainfall in the south. And just like we humans, on hot days, we drink more water. And so that is how it happens when the temperature is high. The Earth's surface tends to evaporate more of the water reserve in the soil. And that causes the droughts and the desertification in the north. And because there is evaporation, there is collection of the droplets of water in the atmosphere, and this comes down as rainfall. And when it comes down, because the soil in the north and the temperature down south is not that high, the soil is not able to absorb all of the water that is being poured down, and this causes flooding in the southern part of Nigeria, like what is happening in Lagos currently. And we can conveniently say that climate change has two faces. One reflects the growing threats of drought, desertification, flooding, and erosion, and another, the hopes and the innovation and the collective action all of us can put in place towards curbing these effects or damage by climate. For us, just like Susan, which face are we wearing as individuals, as families, as communities, and the government? Thank you.
Absolutely. Which face are we wearing? I mean, you talked about Lagos. My whole family lives in Lagos, and we just had to relate because we live in a very spacious compound, doctor, but the level of rain, the level of flooding, doctor, we use rain boots within the compound. Without rain boot, we can't walk around where my parents live in Lagos. It's that bad. Okay, let's quickly move straight to the next question, which is, Beyond the environmental damage now, what are the biggest impacts these climate realities are having on people's lives, especially on women, children, farmers, and even the rural communities?
Okay, so the effects and the impact on the vulnerable communities are numerous. And what we can do, to protect the vulnerable communities is investing in climate resilient infrastructure and improving early warning signs and emergency response systems. We can support climate smart agriculture and ensure that we have access to clean water, healthcare, and social protection. Because when families are affected, everyone is affected, whether they are related to you or not. It is a human thing, and you can't help but have empathy and compassion on them as it happens to them. So most importantly, women, children, and people with disabilities, and those in low-income households must be involved in climate decisions so that the solutions that are being rendered will be real to those who have the need for them. And they are not abstract people or imaginations. These people have experienced it, and they need these emergency relief materials and all that is required for them to survive during that period. Thank you.
I agree with you absolutely, because there's nothing better than co-creation, with all parties that are involved, because how it affects women, children, persons with disability, and all other groups are different, because these communities are not homogeneous. So the way it will affect each individual is different, and they need to co-create. So, just like our theme for today says, two faces, one future, together for a greener tomorrow. And if there's something you said that resonated deeply with me, it's early warning sign. That is very important. Even before the response, if we have the early warning signs, people will know how to navigate before it even happens, before the response you need to. Because trust me, even in the response system, not everybody will survive. But if there are early warning signals, people would have evacuated certain areas before, some of these things happen. I agree. So just like we say, two faces, one future, together for a greener tomorrow. What does a greener tomorrow look like for Nigeria? And why is it important that everyone you have mentioned is involved?
Okay, so for a greener tomorrow in Nigeria, we are talking about systems and structure that will bring about the reduction in the effect of climate change. And for everybody that I have mentioned, you know that we cannot avoid or ignore climate reality because the consequences are glaring. And we must embrace a sustainable and inclusive climate action by investing in clean energy, climate smart agriculture, resilient infrastructure, and eco-friendly transportation. And this talks about transportation systems that are friendly to we humans and to the environment. And most importantly, communities must be involved because they are the ones that are living these experiences. People are the ones that are suffering. They are the ones that are being affected by climate change. And especially the vulnerable groups should not be left behind. The choices we make today will determine the future that we will live for our children will be a one that is safe or a one that is already being damaged. Thank you.
I agree with you. Everything you have said is our reality. Stepping out whenever it rains, no matter where you live in Nigeria, it's a Herculean task. You find out that transportation just increases all of a sudden just because there is rain, because they know there is this surge. And for me, as a woman with a disability, you find out that when you are trying to book the e-hailing rides, they increase. You are seeing a different price on the app, and they are telling you, no, I can't go for this price. It has to be this price. And maybe you have an emergency, doctor, and you are trying to go to that place. So you see,
Yes.
whether we agree or not, climate care affects each and every one of us. If you are just joining us, this is Climate Care on Women Radio, WFM 91.7. To be a part of the program, you can call the phone line 0700 0917 917 09155 917 917. Do well to call the toll-free line 0800 123 5917, or drop us a message on our WhatsApp line. We want to hear from you, we want to know what is happening in your environment so that we can also amplify it here. You can send us a message on 07031756537, 08155917917. You can also watch us live on YouTube at WFM 917, on all our social media handles. Even you can listen on the go, on our social media, www.wfm917.com. You are still tuned to Women Radio, WFM 91.7, and the time is 18 minutes before 12 midday. And I still have Dr. Nancy from Euphrates Climate Foundation, who has been speaking on, two faces, one future, together for a greener tomorrow. Doctor, you just reeled out a whole lot, what it means around transportation and what have you. And one of the things we do here is we don't just list out the challenges, we also list practical solutions. So we quickly move to what are practical solutions? What practical solutions that are sustainable? You talked of sustainable agriculture and all of that. So what are the sustainable solutions that government, the private sector, and even our development partners can prioritize to help communities become more resilient to climate change?
Okay, we need practical solutions that are Nigeria-friendly or community-based solutions that will influence or help us reduce the effects of climate change. And some of them are the climate-smart agriculture. We have renewable energy with flooding and drought early warning systems, tree planting, and also would look into residential and eco-friendly transportation, like I said before. We must also empower our local communities, especially women and young people, with knowledge, skills, and access to green technologies. Most importantly, our government, communities, businesses, and civil societies must work together to implement solutions that are sustainable and inclusive, and which is what Foundation, collaboration with a Global Affairs Canada, is currently doing on the Renew Men's Voice Leadership Project in Nigeria currently. We are training women and the youth on climate-smart agriculture. We are empowering them with skills and knowledge in different ways. We have different organizations come together to work on this project. So for Euphrates Climate Foundation, we are handling the climate aspect of this, and we are working on this project and ensuring that all the vulnerable groups, people with disabilities, women and young people, are endowed and empowered to handle climate change effect in the near future in a way that is sustainable and will not be that glaring with all the consequences that I have mentioned before. Thank you.
Awesome. At the end of the day, we need sustainable solutions, and it's good. The work, I want to commend the work that you're doing, empowering these people with the right information, because information is power, information is key. So when these people are already knowledgeable about how to navigate, whether you're a woman, you're a person with disability, or the youths who are among the marginalized group. When they are part of this discourse, I mean, it makes it more easier for them to know what should be done. And as we continue this conversation, I want to ask, what message of hope would you want to leave with Nigerians? I mean, why is collective climate action very important for us? I mean, looking at the situation of things, why do we need this urgency? And why is it critical for us at this time to have this collective action as a people? Because somebody might be listening to and the person is wondering, what is my business? I'm living in a place where we don't even know when rain falls. We don't even know when this happens or that. So we also need to break it down so that everybody knows why it is a collective action.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. It is a collective action for all of us, because whether we like it or not, we are all paying in one way or another for the effects of climate change. If you are not paying the food stuff you are buying, you are paying in experiencing all the hot weathers and temperature rise. If you are not paying that, you are paying the floodings and work for you and reducing it. And so whether we like it, you mentioned before, in the transportation sector, are paying that way. And so that is why we come together and work as a community, work as people with one voice to fight what has and is glaring us in the face and is daring us and saying, what can people do? So let us, every hand should be on it. The individuals and families, also even people that are in our community, we can all come together and plant trees and do things like clean the environment. This will help and go a long way to reduce the effects of.
Absolutely, I agree with you. There was network glitch there. Are you done, doctor?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. If there's something I agree, and this is something we've always advocated on ClimateCare, is the fact that communities can come together. I mean, aside your environmental sanitation that you do in your area, plant trees, have plantations around your community. It will help us. It will help, with cooling the atmosphere, because everywhere is hot, and that is because of deforestation. We keep falling trees and nobody's replanting. I keep wondering, why are we doing these things to ourselves? You talked about markets. Doctor, some years back, with 500, you could buy a crate of egg. I am someone who loves egg. Because I have a disability, I watch my weight. And so one of the major things I use to watch my weight is egg. But look at the cost of egg now. You can't even buy one crate. Because by the time you spend so much money on one item, what would you use to buy other things you need as a family? And so it is, if there's something I'm getting up from climate, it is the fact that it is multidimensional, and we have to, multi-sectoral approach will help us in addressing climate change, because it affects our health, transportation, our environment, different aspects. And so I want to say a very big thank you to our guest this morning, Dr. Nancy. I mean, you have always broken it down to the basics so that everybody knows it's not a government issue. We as individuals, as persons with disabilities, women, mommies and daddies, everyone has a role to play. And we want to say a big thank you to Dr. Nancy from the Executive Director of Euphrates Climate Foundation for sharing your valuable insights with us today, as always. And Today's conversation reminds us that climate change may wear different faces. In the north, it appears as expanding deserts and prolonged droughts. In the south, it comes as floods and coastal erosion. But regardless of where we live, we all share one future. That future depends on the choices we make today. Every tree planted, every waste item properly managed, and every effort to protect our environment and every policy that promotes sustainability brings us one step closer to a greener future. Climate action is not the responsibility of government alone, it belongs to all of us. Together, we can build communities that are more resilient, more sustainable, and better prepared for generations to come. Thank you for listening to Climate Care on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Special thanks to my guest today, Dr. Nancy again. Special thanks to my producer, Aisha Sani, and our executive producer, Tom Okewale Shonaya. My name is Susan Imoma. Until next time, as we always say on the show, stay informed, stay engaged, stay climate conscious, and remember, our future is one, and together we can make it greener. Do have a fantastic weekend. Thank you, Dr. Nancy.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic weekend till we meet next time on the show.
Thank you so much, Susan. Bye.